The path to your manifestation is your inner being's journey, and all you have to do, your path, is to align with your inner being. Hi my friend, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Zach. I'm a mind, body, spirit coach, and I help you align with your inner being. If you're like me, you're a control freak. So welcome my fellow control freaks, because we're going to talk about how the path is not our job. This is a really difficult thing for me. The path to the manifestation is not my responsibility. The path to the manifestation is not your responsibility. It's the yellow brick road that we just have to follow in order to get to the Emerald City. The path, the hows of how our manifestation shows up, is the job of our inner being, is the job of Source, is the job of our spiritual guides, however you would like to call this. The job for us is to listen to the intuitive signals that are opening up the path as it continues to go forward. We do not have the full picture from where we are on the mountain peak. If I want to get up the mountain, and the mountain peak is way up here, and I'm way down here on my manifestation, right? If that's my destination, if that's where I want to be, perfect health, let's use that as an example. Perfect health, where my body's thriving, I'm feeling vibrant and vivacious and sexy. If I'm up there, if I want to be up there, that's where my inner being is, and I'm down here, I have no other option but to follow the path that is laid before me. I don't know how to get up there. I don't know that the path looks like that, right? I have no idea. I know that I'm down here. And actually I've got to get through a little brush to get onto the path. That's the most fun part. But this path is very windy and weavy until we get there. Our inner being, this is the beauty of it, our inner being has sight of each nook and cranny and corner and turn, and how the path gets narrow and thicker and narrow and thicker. Maybe you got to crawl over a branch or two, maybe a downed log. Our inner being has that viewpoint. Our inner being is there, and so the inner being says, Zach, in order for you to get from this point to that point, from this point, point A, to point B, to your destination, you have to go through this path. Now, how do you know that you're on the path? That becomes the question. You know that you're on the path by the way that you feel, by your inner guidance system. Your emotional guidance system is our inner guidance system. The inner guidance system is going to be directing us based upon the way we feel. If we feel bad, guess what? I'm going off page. I'm going off track. I'm going on this route. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh, why am I doing a loop-de-loop back down? I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. Okay, how do I get back on? It's like chutes and ladders. I like to think about it that way. I get a little chute right back to where I started, right back to the path, when I take that emotional journey to feel more joy. As I stay on more joy, you get like a super boost all the way up the mountain. Right? You can think about it that way. You get a ladder when you're feeling joy. You get a chute when you're feeling frustration or negative emotion. Negative emotion is not here to hurt us, not here to do anything. It feels bad when we're there. Why does it feel bad? Because it means that we are separate from our inner being. We are separate from where our inner being already is. My inner being is right here. My inner being right here at this mountain peak is in utter joy, in utter peace, right? The inner being always exists in utter joy and peace. That's where they are. And so why do I feel bad? Because my thoughts right now are not in alignment with where my inner being is. My thoughts right now are how long this journey is going to take, right? I'm a sad face. How long this journey is going to take, why I'm not here yet, why I'm sick again, why something bad happened, yada, yada, yada. And this is another one, controlling how the journey shows up. I want to control how I get to this destination. I want to do it this way. I want to do it that way. That's the way that the ego wants it. if we can surrender, this is a huge thing that we've been talking about. If you haven't checked out our most recent live, check it out here, talking about surrender, acceptance, having faith. Surrender is a huge component to manifesting more swiftly. Surrender is not just saying, I'm going to sit at home all day and I'm going to watch TV. You could do that if that makes you feel truly joyful. But if you're just doing that to be obstinate, I don't watch TV all day, but I'm obstinate. So if you're doing that to be obstinate and you're trying to force your hand on how things should show up, don't be shooting on me. I like that. That's from my friend Tracy. Don't be shooting on yourself. Things will show up as they are supposed to as you hold earnestly to already being in the place of manifesting. Right? If we talk about quantum physics, your inner being and our physical bodies are not separate. They look separate, but in the totality of things, we're all one. We're all unified. Everything is unified. And so quantum physics has this quantum entanglement theory where we have two atoms. We have one atom here. We have one atom here. And we have its twin right here. And so even though they've been able to separate these two atoms, as these atoms move, as this one moves with it. As this one moves with it. Right? So it mirrors it. You have this mirroring effect. And so if we can apply that to our own inner beings, we should, don't be shooting on me, Zach. We are already manifest. Everything we've already asked for is manifest. That's why Abraham Hicks says 99.9% of every manifestation is already manifest. It's just that 0.1%. And where does that 0.1% come from? Our inability to let go, take our hands off, and let our inner being pull us upward towards the mountain peak. If you're liking this so far and you're ready for the story that's about to come, hit that subscribe button down below so that we can continue on this journey of spiritual awakening and manifesting together. So how this has all just played out in my life most recently is a story I'm about to tell you. It's a real quick story. If you've been watching my videos so far, you've known since last June I've had shortness of breath and some chest pains. So I have some shortness of breath, chest pains. Chest pains don't show up until January. January comes along, I'm getting chest pains. Every time it feels like somebody's strangling my heart. I'm feeling pain radiating down my arms, on my neck. Every time I exercise. I go see my cardiologist. They say, maybe it's just myocarditis. You've had COVID these 2 times. Your symptoms coincide with COVID infection. So let's just put you on some anti-inflammatories. Let's see if they work. So I try all this stuff, nothing's happening, nothing's getting better, it sucks. So I finally get a scan. It starts in January, late January this past year, 2025. I have a scan September 16th to see what's going on with my heart. Maybe there's a blockage there. I get a scan at 8:30 in the morning. My cardiologist calls me at 9:15. She says, you better turn back around and go to the ER. You need to go to the ER now because the front wall muscle of your heart is not getting any blood flow during strenuous time, during exercise. And so a few hours later, I pull up to the ER. I went to work. I was a bad boy. I go to the ER. They immediately, put me in a room, blah, 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 blah. So that whole night, there's this anticipation, everyone's saying that there's this anticipation that I'm going to have a stent placed. And I don't want a stent. In my mind, I know that I have this clotting factor, which causes my body to clot unnecessarily to foreign things in it. People that have this is called factor V Leiden. They tend to be more prone to clotting, blood clots, and those can be a problem, right? It killed my uncle. So it's a big problem. So in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want anything metal put in my artery because I already had a blood clot when I was 14 when I had an angioplasty because the clot clotted to a Broviac catheter when I was going through leukemia treatment. Oh my goodness, right? So all the things I don't want. So the whole Wednesday night and then Thursday, they say, you're going to have your procedure Thursday because I got in too late on Wednesday. You're going to have your procedure Thursday. So the whole night, even though I'm talking with Shauna, I'm talking with my mom all day Thursday. Shauna was with me all night Wednesday. Talking with everyone. I keep having this battle, this mental battle. We talked about it in the live right here. Check that live out if you want to hear more in depth. But I have this battle of wanting it to be this route. I want it to be this route. I, in all honesty, wanted it to be a myocarditis because I would just have to be on medication for 3 months and then it would fix that. One of the doctors said maybe it could be myocarditis. This could be a false positive. And I said, oh, that's what I want. It lifted my whole spirit. Thursday comes around. Thursday evening I get the procedure. I go into the procedure. I'm very high because they gave me a little too much Versed, even though I love Versed. I don't want to be like a medication chaser or whatever, pain management chaser, but drug tracing. But I do like Versed because I like the relaxed feeling that I get from it. And all I remember is flashes of that experience. And then I remember the doctor saying, oh, there's the clot. And I went, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, right? And so they put a stent in. I'll put the stent video right here. So as you just saw with my explanation, I had the stent, it opened everything up, wonderful. But after the procedure, instead of being all frustrated and angry and mad, I actually learned something, that the skin, the arteries epithelialize, right? The skin grows around the stent. And so what ends up happening is that the stent just becomes part of the arterial wall. Fascinating, right? That's how amazing is the body. What a miracle. Then I also thought, well, I did have some calcification in that area that caused, and in my understanding, because the doctors couldn't give me any reasons for why this showed up, I had some calcification from one of the drugs that a few of the drugs that I had from leukemia treatment and the bone marrow transplant. So I had some calcification. I got COVID. COVID creates massive inflammation in the coronary arteries. There's been a few studies, you can check those out. But there's massive inflammation that happens in the coronary arteries, and so the doctors are seeing a lot more plaque buildups, particularly soft plaque buildup. Mine was almost all soft plaque buildup. It was 90% occluded, like you saw in that video and how I described it. So I start putting all these things together. Okay, I had this calcification, which was kind of like coral sitting on the inside of my arteries. Then I had, and who knows, I could have potentially had a heart attack later down the road because that calcification, the plaque buildup could have become more extreme. So in the end, having this stent placement could have been the best thing overall because the stent pushes the calcification out, and then the skin heals over the stent, so I have this perfectly smooth, narrow widened passageway again. And the likelihood, per the doctor's description, of me developing a plaque buildup in that area again is virtually nothing. That's pretty miraculous. So I had been asking, my point in explaining this to you guys, I had been asking for this destination since January. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be in perfect health, having a beautiful open heart. My breathing was perfect. I wanted to be here. And so my inner being, as I was beginning to surrender, I was beginning to open, was taking me on this journey. And even the stent is the perfect journey. The perfect journey to get me to here. Because if I had been here, I still would have that calcification. I would have been on drugs for 3 months, which I'm still going to be on medications for a little while, for probably foreseeable future. So we'll see when that changes. But I was guided so that my body could be in the tip-top shape by my inner being. However, I was fighting that the whole time. So for 2 days, I was in a state of complete, utter helplessness, despair, depression, sadness, disappointment. And I'll be honest with you, I've been going through those stages for the last month because I consistently ask myself, well, what the heck? Why did this happen? If I did everything right, why did this happen? Maybe that's the whole point. Sometimes life happens. If I'm being honest, I wasn't doing everything right. I had a lot of resistance still. I had stuff to work on for myself, but I was still asking. And my inner being said, well, heck, you want this. We'll give you this. You just have to take these steps and get to this point. And instead, in my own mind, I fought it the whole time. But now that I'm at this point where my heart is completely open and I feel wonderful when I exercise, my heart feels wonderful, my lungs feel wonderful, my energy's a lot better. Now that I'm there, I have a different perspective. Words don't teach, only life experience teaches. I wanted to do it my way, but my way wasn't the most efficient, effective, and beneficial way. That is the job of Source, of your spirit, of your inner being. That is their job. And so, your path is not your job. Your path is to surrender, is to know your vision, to hold true to your vision, to know you want to be at point B, to be at the top of the mountain, to be in alignment with your inner being. Really, that's our path. Only, always. Our path is to be in alignment with our inner being. And we know we are in alignment with our inner being by understanding our emotional guidance system. When we are feeling bliss and joy and gratitude and love and hope, these are all emotions that our inner being is always living in. So when we're there, we know that we are in alignment. That's our path. When we're feeling bad, that's just our path. That's just our understanding that we're not in alignment. And so let's make it our choice, our conscious, deliberate choice to move along that emotional journey. Let that be our path, so that when we get to that, when we hold true to that, when we surrender and we have faith, our manifestations can't help but manifest, one after the other, until we have to have demanifestation parties. All right? Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you liked this video, check out this one. I think it'll really help you. I'm so grateful for your time, and I appreciate you watching. I hope this touched your heart. I hope this helped you understand that you have the capacity to align with your inner being. The path is not your journey. The path to your manifestation is your inner being's journey, and all you have to do, your path, is to align with your inner being. You have the capacity to do that. It's very simple. It's the emotional guidance system. It's an emotional journey. Once you take that journey, all else falls into place. It always does. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on our next video, and until then, be well, my friends. See you soon. Bye. You are worthy of all the good stuff.